So we have no. This is Runeterra's okayest heroes.
Yeah, there we go. Runeterra's okay as heroes. That works. All
Temedia, Social
right.
Bun, DRF Dive, Not a Fox Main, and Semanas 321. Welcome, Runeterra's most okay heroes, playing in game number 3. I need to stop that coughing laugh and instead just enjoy the awesomeness that is 100% Cookie versus Team Average. As we do have the Echo Band starting off from Team 100% Cookie. We'll see if they take out Zoe, because I do believe one of her animations is her eating a cookie. Or, not animations, but isn't it a splash art, her eating a cookie?
Yeah, I think she's eating a cookie or brownie or something on the Cyberpop splash art.
Yeah,
Now I have to Google it.
I have to check that, but I'm pretty sure that she's snacking on something. I'm gonna. Oh, you're already probably doing that already.
I'm already on it. Oh, she's just popping bubble gum.
Oh, it's the bubble gum. Okay.
It's the bubble
I
gum.
think it was probably
She's
a piece
got
of fan art then that I saw her eating a cookie, because something about it was a cookie. But anyway, Zed also banned away, taking out some more of these mid laners. The top laners being taken out from Team Average, the Riven. What we have seen from these players before, though, Social Bun playing last game, so could be banned away this time around. However, I don't think that it was enough of a scary champion to cause 100% Cookie to want to ban that away. Xeno has been really good on those jungles of the Twitch and the Diana, but neither of them banned away this time around. So free options so far for the picks, as Fizz, the second ban for Team.
Are you certain?
Yep, and of course we see the Riven band coming out first from Team Average. Of course, when you got somebody whose name is Riven's Exile, you kind of have to ban away the Riven, as we saw last week when it didn't get banned.
So will Riven's Exile pick up the Yasuo, as that was their switch to second champion when the Riven was banned away? We'll have to see. Probably sitting there raging at the moment that Riven was banned away, and it is the Yasuo picked up. So that's the comfort pick. Riven banned, Yasuo picked up.
Riven banned, Yasuo picked up. I wonder what Riven's Exile plays when Yasuo and Riven both get banned in solo queue.
Riven's Exile plays the quit the game.
Oh, okay, fair. We did see LeBlanc and Dr. Mundo also going away. Mundo, this last patch, I believe, got that buff to his ultimate that makes his healing on his ultimate even more potent than it already was. So a solid ban if you're not planning on building Grievous Wounds into your kit already. As we see DRF Dive picking up the Renekton and Social Bun, hovering the Leona right now.
I love Leona, and it is locked in, which makes me very excited, because Leona is such a good diving champion with that ultimate long-range CC, AoE slow. There's so much power in that CC. The one thing that makes me a little iffy on Leona playing her these days is the fact that she takes a while to actually build up enough tank to survive engaging. So you often end up having to be more of a cursory peel champion for your ADCs or other people on your team until you get to that mid game where you've completed 2 to 3 tanky items that actually give you enough stats to survive. So we'll have to see if Leona can do that, or if Leona is all about the early game dive. I remember pairing that with a Jhin, level 2 diving, just so incredibly strong to try to get the lane ahead. If not, you gotta play defensively.
Gotta play slow, but gotta play defensive. We've got a Jhin and DRF Xeno picking up the Master Yi in the jungle. So we got 3 heavy AD threats coming out from 100% Cookie so far, as Temeni also picks up the Ezreal for Team Average to kind of round out that bot lane and give them an idea of what they're working with. Let's see where the bans go this direction, as we see Ornn coming off for Team Average.
Yeah, so one of the things I like about Ornn, especially for me playing Ornn, is the fact that the Ornn can use the ultimate to engage from a distance, and if the Ornn, or if the team doesn't want to go in, it's really just more of a disengage tool. You can just let it go. It's a fairly short cooldown. You can wait for it to come back up for the next engage. As a top lane or even support, one of the things I don't like is diving into the enemy team without the rest of my team following that up. So they're going to take him off the map with his engage power, the Morgana banned away, as well as the Veigar banned from 100% Cookie. So far, so good, though, for Leona, and that she doesn't have to split that gold between the magic resist and armor, can instead, so far, solely focus on the armor.
course, we have not necessarily seen whether that Yasuo is going into the mid lane or the top lane as of yet. So we'll see. We'll probably get I mean, we're about to get a pretty definitive answer right now as Bacon King is hovering, looking at Singed and Cho'Gath. Another thing I do want to point out about that Ornn ban and why I really agree with it from the side of Team Average is that Ornn has the second half of that ultimate, that massive knockup, or when he uses his charge into a wall to get a good knockup. They were banning something that Yasuo could use very well, and so the only knockup that they have to assist Yasuo right now is that Cho'Gath knockup.
As the Thresh pickup from 100% Cookie, so King Smoit wanting to grab that CC, still being a bit on the AD side of things. The Cho'Gath really the only one to bring any ability power to the team, but it is very heavy on that crowd control, which means that Master Yi can get in and do some really, really good damage. You think I'm a Yasuo one trick? I'm trash at Yasuo. No, we know that you're not a Yasuo one trick. You're a Riven one trick. Thresh is my pocket pick. Oh,
I did not know that.
Well,
and we see him. We see Riven's Exile now has the Thresh, and King Smoit has the Yasuo. So this should be interesting. I'm excited to see this because I don't think I've seen Riven's Exile's Thresh as of yet.
I also like the Not a Fox main picking up Ahri, giving a little bit of that ability power and the charm. There's so much poke from Team Average on the Ezreal and that Ahri combined. But as we get into a little more analysis, let's roll through the players and their champions. For Team 100% Cookie, we've got Riven's Exile on the pocket pick of Thresh. No free names with the Jhin bottom lane AD carry. DRF Xeno once again back in game, but this time on Master Yi in the jungle. Third time, third champion. Bacon King, 1-1-2-2 with the Cho'Gath in the top lane. And King Smoit, first time playing tonight. Welcome with the Yasuo in that top mid lane. I apologize.
And speaking of new to the stream, welcome DRF Dive playing Renekton in the top lane. We got Social Bun coming back on the Leona support, backing up Temeni's Ezreal in the bot lane. Not a Fox main on the Ahri in the mid lane. And the first game, Graves hasn't been banned tonight. Graves gets picked up by Samanas 3-2-1 for that jungle on the side of Team Average.
So between these two teams, I'm loving the side of 100% Cookie. They've got such good engage with the Thresh. They've got Cho'Gath for the multi-man rupture straight into the last breath on the Yasuo, but they really need to get at least a little bit of grouping, kind of do a 4-1, allow Cho'Gath to push in the side lanes, use the teleport when necessary. But with that 4-1, utilize Thresh's hooks with some really good vision to get some of these squishier members, the Graves, the Ahri, or even Ezreal, out of the fight before the real powerhouse of the team fight from Team Average can come through.
Yeah, if they allow that team fight to come through for Team Average, you're going to see Renekton and Leona both very tanky, especially with the fact that they're really only going to have to build armor against the AD. Cho'Gath does do a little bit of magic damage, but his primary source of damage is that ultimate where he can just chomp down for true damage. He can't really defend against that, so go into the armor to defend against Master Yi, Yasuo, and Jhin. Especially with Master Yi and Yasuo involved, I would not be surprised to see Leona pick up an early Thornmail to reflect some of that damage back to those two champions.
So we'll have to see which one comes down in the end. And with that ADC, or with the armor on Leona, and even potentially that Renekton, the scaling, I think, favors Team Average pretty handedly, especially for the Ahri and the Graves in the mid game. Their grouping power with the multi-man AoEs or picking people off with the charms, pretty strong. So between these two teams, would you give any one the full advantage when it comes to this team's probably got it for a win?
Honestly, no, not with these particular team compositions. Looking at them, they both have ways to succeed in all phases of the game, the early, mid, and late game. Both teams have a chance to pull this out. It's going to strictly come down to execution here, and it's going to be fun to watch, that's for sure.
Indeed. And I will say I have a little bit of a soft spot for Master Yi. Maybe someday I will pull out the fact that Master Yi was my first cosplay that I ever did of a League of Legends character.
Oh, please tell me there are pictures.
Oh, there are pictures indeed. And the amazing thing was that the Master Yi helmet was made completely out of little pieces of the, 4x8 cardstock note cards, index note cards, tape, and spray paint.
Did you do it like Pepakura style?
I don't know what that is. Pepakura?
Pepakura. It's paper folding and cutting and things like that. We tried to make Spartan helmets with it and tried to do like a whole series of like red versus blue cosplays for Middle Tennessee Anime Convention up here, and it did not go through because it was a lot of little paper and folding.
Yes. No, this was more pure just taping, gluing, hot glue, cardboard, paper, hope. And it ended up being okay. It ended up actually being okay. So I'll have to scrounge out some of those pictures at some point if enough people beg for them. But we are into game number 3, Team 100% Cookie versus Team Average. And I really want to see Average just use that power of the Renekton and the Leona in grouping team fighting for dragons, fighting for barons to full potential. Leona's ultimate is one of the harder ones to land because it has such a long wind-up time, but if you can distract the enemy team, set up for an opportune moment to stun 2, 3, 4 people, it can lead to such good team fight for Team Average.
Absolutely. It can be a fantastic team fight for them, and they can also be, I mean, it can be a good, just slow them down tool. I mean, remember the outer edge of that, of course, as you know, the outer edge of that does slow instead of stunning, so it's definitely a good engage tool whether you hit it fully or not.
Level 1, just a couple pokes between both teams. Mystic shot from Timeni, just getting a little bit of a kleptomancy gold onto, I believe it was the Thresh, but, oh no, the Yi. Yeah, he's going to get a little more onto the Jin, but takes some damage back. Oh, the hook just out of range. Ezreal counting his lucky stars and is going to be able to make his way out between the Deadly Flourish by the Jin missing and Riven's Exile Death Sentence. So close because that could have been layered kill.
That was first blood if that hook landed easily. And it just was not meant to be. Timeni gets away with maybe a little bit of an over push there on the invade.
He's got a green ward though, so he's feeling safe with that extra vision that he hasn't even put down. King Smoit flirting with Ahri in the mid lane, throws up that little heart charm icon. What are they called? Tags or stickers?
Emotes.
Emotes. So it throws up the little heart Ahri emote. Gonna go in for some damage, smack around the one that he was flirting with earlier, and knocking not a Foxmane down to half health, but he's gonna keep using that harass pattern. Now Ahri did go with that ignite, so definitely looking for a kill lane, as is Yasuo as well. So both of those should be on the aggressive side, despite that early flirtations between the two of them. Graves and Yi farming about equal at this point in the game, both headed towards the top side jungle and maybe going for a level 3 gank on the top side.
Level 3 gank on the top side would be interesting to see from both of these, as Master Yi does have his, I mean, he automatically starts with his key ability, which is to get that Alpha Strike up and running to go with those auto attacks.
Yeah, and it really is one of those things that he wants to make use of having either the champion or minions for the resets. There is that ping from the Cho'Gath, says there is vision in this war or in this bush. Most likely DRF dive put a ward down, so Yi heads towards the mid lane. Graves also moving around on the opposite side, kind of both clearing scuttle crabs in each river. So continuing to mirror each other as Dive, taking some pretty good damage in the top lane, is able to get a cleave for some extra health, pushing through with the slice and dice, but forced to flash as the rupture tails him behind, and he lives. But with that flash down, there's an opportunity for Yi to dive.
Yeah, DRF dive definitely overstayed there. Stayed right in the middle of the minions as we got an engage in the bot lane with Graves coming in.
Yeah, Riven's Exile taking some decent damage. The Death Sentence a little bit late. Graves some mana, 3-2-1, just walking happily away with the double buffs. He did show himself in the bottom lane though, so Yi knows he is down there, giving him ample opportunity to head wherever it is that he wants to. Renekton in that top lane, just trying to clear up the farm underneath the turret. But Leona making good use of that bush to get the Zenith Blade down for those stuns. Kind of a nice harass pattern that I've used plenty of times myself. With the mini wave pushing in, no, they're still going to go right back in onto Jin. No free names, gets a shot before falling way back on that Dark Passage Lantern straight to safety underneath the turret once again.
Absolutely not. DRF Dive still being kept low here.
Oh.
Goes in for the trade.
Yeah, gets the Ignite down, some pretty good damage. I wasn't expecting him to turn right into the stun lasting so long on the Bacon King 11. In the mid lane, though, first blood to King Smoit. Has harassed pattern, eats through all of Ari's potions, gets the Ignite down as well. Ari realizes there's no way for her to get out, doesn't even worry about flashing or trying to return damage with the Ignite. Instead, just falls, and now is going to be at a minion deficit as Samantis comes to the mid lane to try to keep these minions from pushing in. But DRF Dive still in a bad spot in the top lane as that Renekton, despite having heals, not able to regen at the same rate as Cho'Gath.
No, especially with that Cho'Gath passive, which gives him health and mana back, so he's able to stay in lane despite not really having any mana a minute ago. He's got back up pretty easily because of his passive.
So things still fairly even across both teams. The mid lane discrepancy between these two, the Yasuo being about 10 farm up, kind of shared in the bottom lane on the Ezreal side of things, 10 farm up over the Jhin, as Jhin is a little bit more of a struggle early game to get 100% perfect farm until he levels up that grenade. Going to be a little bit more difficult. Fox main getting a little bit of damage taken in that mid lane as the tornado from the Yasuo will find the Ahri. However, still just focusing on trying to get farm, probably going to play that lane fairly passively as the jungler, Samantis, comes to the top lane looking for the engage, gets the slowdown onto the Bacon King. He may be going down as it may be the Cho'Gath who gets cooked up this time around. Yi nowhere around to help us. He is back in the base. Cho'Gath still trying to run away. He could try to teleport to safety. Gets the knock up onto Samantis. Dive, nice slice and dice over the wall. Finds the stun, finds the kill. Graves not even getting an assist on that? Okay.
Yeah, it was a while before he dealt damage because of the way he ran away. That was a good job by Bacon King to make sure that only one of them got gold for that. If not for the well-placed slice and dice there by DRF Dive, he probably would have gotten away there because Ahri wasn't rotating at all.
So he could have tried to roam around back towards the bottom side of the river in the top lane, but unable to find it. Good vision from that Renekton, noting the Krugs there, so can use that to his advantage. Slice and dice over the wall, get the stun. That's going to be a clean hit. I'm not sure who said they were hitting everything in the game, but King Smite goes in once again onto Fox main, just getting that harass damage that we talked about. Still hasn't back, so sitting on 2,000 gold. That's going to be a powerful, powerful back when he does go by. Throws out the wind wall, gets some extra damage down. Graves coming in from behind. Can they finish him off? I doubt it, as Riven's Exile with a great roam throws out the Dark Passage and gets King Smite to safety, even though he probably didn't even need it.
No, probably didn't need it. He had a little help. He had enough distance on all of his moves to get away there. We do see safe backs coming in for team average from that mid lane, making sure that they got it as Smoit pushes that in to reset the wave and get a good back.
So 46 farm. Excuse me, how you got? It's kind of weird. Not even feeling that tired. But 46 farm to 43 in the top lane. Still fairly even between these two. Renekton continuing to use the slice and dice to avoid those ruptures from the Bacon King, who tries to get as much harass down as he can. Xeno coming in with the red buff, though. This could be good as Dive's slice and dice on cooldown. Uses the ultimate to try to give himself a little bit extra health. The rage ticking up very, very quickly. Could get the turn around onto the Yi, who tries to heal. The slice goes through the dice to the Cho'Gath, forcing the flash out. All he needs is one more hit with the red buff, and he does with a Q cleave. Gets himself 2 kills in the top lane. Now 3-0-0. This Renekton suddenly stacking up really nicely in the bottom lane. Temenia getting a little bit of harass, but the disengage from the Thresh too much, and the members of 100% Cookie bottom lane get out safely.
Yep, everybody's out safely. Nothing going in bottom lane. That was great top lane turnaround by DRF Dive after having a little bit of a rough early game. Now off to a 3-0-0 start. Only 4 CS ahead, but that 3-0-0 is going to be more than enough gold to create a significant lead that he can carry into the later portions of this game as we start eking towards the mid game.
And with that flash as well, he can feel safe knowing that the Cho'Gath, who doesn't have teleport, has to walk back to lane. And even if he does to get dive again, if Yi comes back, he has that flash to be able to stay safe. The hook not going to land, but he could try to flay Leon underneath the turret. Riven's Exile is taking a massive amount of damage. Temenia, which down to about half health, needs to play it safe as well, because the Jhin does have a lot of burst damage with the heal by No Free Names to keep his support alive. Charm onto King Smoit, a little bit of harass as well. Bottom lane turret under fire. DRF Xeno here though, trying to help out the Flay onto some mana. Xeno comes in, diving in, looking for the damage as Riven's Exile so low health. The flash from Samana. Temenia continues to chase in. Xeno on the run, uses a momentary heal. The root onto Temenia, but he's still got the Mystic shot, and so will be able to clean up the kill. But almost escape by Xeno, not quite going to find it as the engage now Temenia over the wall, looking for the dive onto the turret. Could be in trouble though, as they are going to find out the Ahri, sorry, not the Ahri, the Yasuo who's come down here. King Smoit flashing to safety, not a Fox main down here as well. The smite, the snipe from the Ezreal, not a Fox main going over the wall. King Smoit in trouble, he's going to follow as well. Ezreal with a clean kill, the heal as well, but the ignite from King Smoit finishes off not a Fox main, and that's going to be an extended 3-for-2 trade between, I think, both teams.
Yeah, very good extended trade there, as the two major AD threats are still both down in bot lane, and they should be able to get some significant damage. Actually, they should be able to take this tower, as Team 100% Cookie is doesn't have anybody up to rotate down here to this bottom lane and actually help take this.
Yeah, so Team Average coming out with a nice lead, pushing about 2,000 gold. Once they take this turret, will be up even more than that. Stopwatch picked up by the Ahri, so she's prepping to go the Zanya's route as that bottom lane turret does fall. No rotation to the Drake, which is a Wind Drake at the moment. Not one of the more priority picks for a team, but yeah, Ezreal sneaking out some extra farm. Thresh around the corner could try to get in. Doesn't have flash though, so no flash hook available for him. In the top lane, Dive getting some decent damage onto the Bacon King, but I think at this point, as he is ahead in that items listing, he's looking to get ahead in farm as well. 82 farm to the 67. The Bacon King will clean up a couple of these minions and close the gap just a hair, but 10 farm up, feeling good. Renekton wanting to keep that laning phase going as long as possible, not that he's winning it. King Smoit comes to the mid lane, not a Fox main, doesn't get snared by the Deadly Flourish, but they're still going to chase in almost underneath the turret before backing out. Oh, and Salik's power went out. Okay, so we are going to solo cast this, as Salik is going to happily smile solo mode from the sidelines. So we'll just give it some time. I think eventually the call will probably end. But solo mode, Team 100% Cookies versus Team Average. You got Storms in the area, so you thought that might happen. That's fine, as the hook goes down onto the Ahri. Flayed him back, not a Fox main, trying to get to the side, but the Jhin gonna get that nice double slow, though. Not quite the stun from the ultimate on the Leona. Social Bun prepping up that one, forcing the members of 100% Cookie to back up as King Smoit down to half health. Continues to try to keep up in the mid lane, and he's gonna throw out a tornado, but not wanting Social Bun. He wants this Ahri down to about a third health. Riven's Exile going to continue to force this one in. The mid lane turret down to half health and continuing to fall as these minions are fed continuously under the hook from Riven's Exile. Not quite going to land. The Thresh God not quite making it this time around. Double buffs onto Temania, forcing him to jump over the wall. Doesn't quite find the Q. Waiting out the ultimate from Yi, which is going to be finished off. He needs one auto attack just to get the slow. Switches over to the heal. Q's in as Samani switches up, but nice dodge there. The arcane shift into the auto gives himself double buffs in the bottom lane. Temania with a beautiful outplay. 2 kills to 7 Team Average, anything but, as they are doing very well this game. A little bit of a dodge there. The stun up onto the Yasuo in the mid lane. Ignite taking away as well. Ahri has no mana, but King Smoit already going to fall. The Ahri picking that one cleanly with the help of Social Bun, moving towards the mid lane. And it is going to be the Wind Drake on the Graves starting this one off. So, whoop, I gotta figure out that one. There we go. Nicely done. As the Temenia able, well, hold on, let's back that one up real quick. On the bottom side here, Jin goes in, gets the snare down, but Domenia with a red buff just dashes in. One more auto attack as well. Clean kill. 5-0 on this Ezreal in the bottom lane, doing work on Riven's Exile now. Not too concerned about that. Jumps right back in. The hook almost lands from Riven's Exile, trying to predict the movement from Domenia. Unable to do so, though, and he's going to be chunked out, forced to leave the lane, just go right back to the base to heal. His dive continues in this top lane to build that farm lead, slowly but surely, trying to get onto Cho'Gath, who is becoming quite the tank, has that Righteous Glory, so if they should ever group for a dive, he should be ready for that. As King Smoit in the bottom lane trying to hold against this Ezreal that is just continuing to farm up. 120 farm. He goes in with the last breath, gets the kill as well. Yi in the top lane onto dive. He's trying to get the blast cone, but just hopped himself up in the air, and the Jin curtain call going to slow social bun, so Smoit with a double buff should be able to pick this one up. He just needs one more dash and an auto, cleans that one up. No free name, snipes it away with the deadly flourish, and now Samana is going to fall as well. And 100% Cookies has won fights across the map. A quick 4 for nothing, and they're going to win that very handedly. The win Drake still in favor of Team Average, as they were able to pick that one up earlier. However, next Drake spawning Ocean Drake is going to be what the Cho'Gath wants. Going to make it nearly impossible for you to kill him late game if he gets a couple of those stacked underneath his belt. And 6 kills to 9. Average starting to slow down a little bit. Bottom lane turret may fall here, evening it up. The Ezreal ult going to clear up a few minions, but it's still a pretty good wave piling on in. No free names, only with the Caulfield's Warhammer, though, doesn't do much damage. As Ezreal's sitting on a Trinity Force and Manamune already completed. Riven's Exile flashes, but still going to fall as Temenia's 1v3 pushing these guys out from underneath the turret. The Thresh, I believe, with an auto attack, lined himself up for too much damage. King Smoit now wants to go in onto Mania, clears out the ward, starts to back off, baiting out. No free names, just going to get stunned up, cleaned up. The heal from the Jin, trying to keep himself alive, is going to fall. Someone could have played the Wilhelm scream, because that's exactly what happened as Temenia chases in, just going to go straight back to farming. He's passed away, doesn't even care. Rift Herald started by Team Average, wants to clean this one up for the extra pushes in the bottom, in the mid or top lane. Tried to break some of these exterior turrets. They should be able to clean that up without trouble, though, as King Smoit still attention in this bottom lane. Has the double buffs, trying to hold against the Ezreal. Misses. Oh, the Thresh will land it, though. The hook is good. The flay a little bit late, though. King Smoit in trouble, forced it back out, but the slows onto Social Bun should be falling. Yi goes in, grabs one kill, gets the reset, using the ultimate. Temania on the run, trying to line up for another Q. Gets it with a Mystic Shot. Wants to chase in, but the Jin here sidesteps the deadly flourish. Ezreal's still alive, continuing to dodge out. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4. Domenia untouchable. Flayed and gets the slow down, bringing the Yasuo in, uses the heal, jumps to the side, but that's the deadly flourish from the Jin, finally landing, cleaning up the kill on this Ezreal. 8-2. Huge powerhouse for Team Average, as the Renekton, also powerhouse, 130 farm, 3-1-0 in the top lane. Ari being able to free farm this entire time in the mid lane, has started to catch back up. Finish the Zhonya's, no boots, but King Smoit comes in trying to defend the mid lane turret. It will fall, and he might be in a little bit of trouble as the members of Average decide not to fight him, instead back out. Leona trying to stop the damage onto the bottom lane turret. No free names, doesn't care though, just gonna go right back in. Riven's Exile, not even worried about trying to CC Leona, instead just happy to have finally taken that turret that they've desperately wanted before backing out. 8 kills to 12, 2,000 gold, only about 1,000 gold lead for Team Average. Slippery, the Thresh says on the Ezreal, who's been very hard to stop so far this game. 2-2-2 on the Jin. Essence Fever has been finished. King Smoit in trouble now, though, going to be jumped upon by 3, dashes back underneath the turret, through the minions, trying to get away. Doesn't have flash available, so with the Graves ult and Ezreal finishing him off. Hey, it's very proud of outages. I'm thinking lightning hit transform something because I'm smelling something burning outside. Oh boy, when the transformer's on fire, that's when you know it's time to call Optimus Prime. As DRF dive, trying to get the damage out into the top lane turret. The Bacon King, trying to stop the Rift Herald, but in trouble with the ultimate of the Renekton. The silence on 2. The Bacon King gets the turnaround, still has the feast. No, already used the feast on the Renekton. Flash forwards from Samanus, trying to get the slow with the red buff. Doesn't have the auto attacks, though. Already used the ultimate earlier to finish off the Yasuo, and so the Bacon King will live for now. But the Rift Herald gets a secondary slam. Look at the damage. Does finally fall. Second tier turret down to half health. Quickly cleaned up as Timenia does the damage. 9, 2, and 1. 2 completed items as the serrated Dirk also picked up as well for that extra lethality. As double people knocked up from the tornado over the Yasuo. However, he's going to get CC'd down, and Samanus cleans that one up. Yi going in onto the Ezreal, going to clean that one up. Able to finish him off. However, finding himself in a tough spot between 3, the root from the Jhin, but the curtain call too slow, and now no free names in trouble, trying to run away. Samanus one shotgun to the back of the Jhin, who used the Dark Passage from Thresh to get over the wall. Still in the favor of Team Average, as they have grouped earlier, using the powerhouse that is the Leona and Renekton, who just incredibly strong in that top lane, continued to push in 3, 2, and 0 now. Did give a kill over, but Ocean Drake spawning ready for the members of Team Average to try to pick it up, and should be able to get a second break in the game without too much of an issue. Resdra, oh, that's why we don't have a, I wonder if I can turn it off. Let's see if I can get spectator overlays. If I turn Wraith off, what happens? Oh, it just goes blank. All right, we can chill with that for a little bit until maybe Salad Tildoran comes back. We'll find out in a little bit. So Team Average doing well, 100% Cookie, slow to get the grouping down. They need to make use of this Yasuo, 4, 4, and 4, about to finish his second item of the Infinity Edge to really get into this game. The Bacon King grouping with the team, letting Jhin split push on the side to pick up some extra farm. 95 to the 151 of this Ezreal. Timenia just massive. Pushing up the mid lane now, or at least roaming up towards the mid lane after pushing up the bottom lane. Turret didn't want to go past the river, playing it wise and smart, trying to get some vision down. The Ezreal could be in a precarious situation, but there's no wards from 100% Cookie to know that that's where he is. Right, this goal popped from the Bacon King, I think a little bit preemptively, as he didn't see anyone in the river, so he will have to wait for that cooldown, but it's fairly short. Another feast onto a minion to continue to stack up both his health and size. One of the nice things about a Cho'Gath tank is that when you are massive in the game, you can just stand on top of your carries and everyone's going to click on you, because they sometimes literally cannot click on the squishier members if they're hiding between your feet. In the bottom lane, Renekton split pushing by himself. Riven's Exile here, though, wants to land some CC for King Smoit to get in. Will they be able to do it? Slice and dice from Dive should be able to get himself out alive, though. Leona as well coming in from the side, and so that's going to be the Dark Passage shaken by King Smoit to get to safety. Bacon King being collapsed upon by all 5 members of Team Average, collecting here towards the mid lane as 100% Cookie's got most of their members on the bottom side. And they could get the engage, or at least the siege, onto the mid lane second tier turret. Timenia going to be able to get some really good poking down. Graves with the wave clear. Riven Exile sees DRF dive, getting some vision in their own jungle. Just trying to keep sight on where Team Average's members are moving, rotating, collecting. King Smoit here, though. The hook, chases Samanus out. But with the quick draw, Graves untouched by that death sentence. The tornado gonna land, though. Flashing Timenia gets over the wall, and now he's in a safe spot to throw out the ultimate as well. Riven's Exile stunned up. No free names, going to fall with an auto attack as well. And Average has found the fight that they want. Bacon King also going to fall. No one was prepared for King Smoit to go back in with the ultimate onto the Ezreal, who just flashed the wall and calmly threw out so much damage. Mid lane second tier turret going to fall as the third one's going to start to get chunked out. They could try to also get an inhibitor on this push. Yi the only one left alive, and he's kept busy in the bottom lane as Dive is just going to keep pushing that one on. So the mid lane inhibitor going to fall for Team Average, setting themselves up confidently for the rest of the game. Xeno in trouble now, ignited, burned away. DRF dive, trying to get some good damage, but Xeno gets the outplay with the turret, gets the clean kill, realizes he's going to die, tries to clear up some minions. The rest of the team comes in. 3v4 though. 100% Cookies does not want this fight unless they can catch Temenia out, but the death sentence not going to land from Riven's Exile, and that means that with Bacon King 4v4, Temenia, despite the silence, going to get some good harassment down, but the deadly flourish may mean that he goes down. Exhaust as well, very low health. Feast puts him low. Bacon King lines up for a rupture, not quite going to land, but the death sentence will, and that guarantees a kill onto the ADC from Team Average. Finally going to fall King some weight, 2v1ing off to the side. Deadly flourish a little bit too early as not a Fox main. Throws down the ultimate, 3 charms quick to get out of that one as Samana forced to flash. And the social bun uses the ultimate just to get the disengage as the rest of the members are able to escape. Only the Ezreal going down for Team Average. So good use of different skills and abilities to disengage the fight, get out alive, and maintain their massive lead in the game so far. 12 kills to 21, pushing 9,000 gold in the lead, as 100% Cookies has just not found their way into the game. The tankiness of Cho'Gath still has a little bit to fully come online. He's got the Righteous Glory, but he doesn't have any true armor items yet to deal with his Ezreal, who also is dealing some magic damage as well. And the Thresh, despite finding a couple good hooks, still struggling sometimes to get those death sentences to land on the high mobility targets of the Graves, the quick draw, the Ezreal with the arcane shift, the Ahri with the ultimate. There's just so much movement. Even the slice and dice from the RF dive going to make it difficult for Thresh to land those death sentences, as several members of 100% Cookies going to move down towards the bottom lane looking for the Renekton. Not going to go for the full engage though. Split back towards the mid lane. Don't want to be too far away from the Baron if Team Average decides to start it up, and it looks like with that movement and the control war down as well, we're going to go ahead and start it. There are pings down from Team Average saying, hey, Ahri, come help us out as well. Tried to burn this one down. Cho'Gath around the corner. Excuse me. And not seen just yet. He could try to flash in for a feast, but I think it's going to be the Baron going over to Team Average. The Graves does clean that one up, and King Smoy grabs the lantern to get out alive. No free names, forced to heal. Doesn't have the root down. One more auto attack from Dive cleans him up as the bottom lane turret continues to pour out the damage. Doesn't matter though. Baron cleaned up. Average continuing to push in. Renekton on the Nexus turrets. Dive wants the fight, wants the game over. He's going to be chased in, edging, and execution. Oh boy, the disrespectful execution on the Renekton, waiting as long as possible before stepping onto the fountain, giving that execution over. Social Bun on the run as the Yasuo gets the ultimate in. Hasn't quite finished him off, but Thresh with the auto attack plus the play will guarantee a final kill onto that Leona, but it's all up to Temenia. Samana as the damage dealer is not a Fox main. Gonna continue to throw out those charms, let this Ezreal do his work. He's got the red buff as well. Nexus turrets are down. Game not over just yet. 100% Cookies trying to hold on. Xeno heading once again underneath the turret, using his heal, but with the Baron powered minions finally showing up, the bottom lane turret won't last long, and Ezreal cleans up 13, 4, and 5. Just devastating through. Rupture from Bacon King. Thresh hook still not going to land. Tamani on the run and happy to continue to just harass damage. Goes in though, straight into a deadly flourish. Flashes as well. Finally going to fall the Bacon King with a feast cleaning him up. And the hold from 100% Cookie is still online. Mountain Drake being pinged out by Team Average. When they lost the Ezreal, they lost most of their damage inside the enemy base. But there is nothing besides the top lane turret inhibitor left in the base and the Nexus itself for 100% Cookie. So they are going to have to pull out a miracle. There's still the opportunity for a death sentence by Riven's Exile or a rupture by the Cho'Gath to completely nullify a lot of the damage from Team Average if they can take out the Ezreal. But it's all about, can you land it on such a slippery target with those arcane shifts, with the flashes, with the heals. He is so hard to be able to actually get as in the top lane. King Smoit gonna find DRF dive. He uses the ultimate, goes in thinking he's gonna be able to win the fight. The Yasuo gets the shield, goes right back in with the last breath. The hook from Thresh keeps King Smoit alive. No free names, gets that much needed gold on 2 items, the Essence Reaver and the Rapid Fire Cannon, but no Infinity Edge. And that's really what he needs to be involved in this game. The Yasuo already having finished that Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer. BF Sword picked up by the Graves, though I don't think that's going the direction of the Infinity Edge. May just be a little bit more damage, a Bloodthirster or something. But a little bit more of a tankier route with the Black Cleaver. Also, Phantom Dancer picked up on top of that. The game goes another 8 minutes. Blue side will win, barring a back door. If the Cho'Gath can get tanky enough, that's the question. 15 kills to 24. Pushing the 30-minute mark, but not quite there yet. Team Average heads towards the top side to try to get a push in on the 1 turret remaining for all of 100% Cookie's base. It's now clearing out his ward. Just guaranteeing control over this side. The hook goes on to the Ezreal. He may be going down. He's rooted. He's gone. The damage dealer for Average. Graves goes at the ultimate, finds the Thresh, but he is in here, cleans up 1. Cho'Gath chases in. The knockup not going to land, but he's already on top of everybody. Does get cleaned up on the Graves. Shotgun to the face. Samana still going to fall, though, and they are just setting up for Ahri to also get cleaned up, and that is an almost complete ace. The only one left alive. DRF dive on the Renekton. Headed up, though, the teleport from the Cho'Gath may mean it's actually a kill on King Smoit, but Renekton deciding not to fight this one, instead back out and head towards his own waves. Pushing in the mid lane, Bacon King teleports back into the base just to hold against the super minions pushing in. You guys have a wood tier night plan? Not yet, but that would be pretty awesome. Hey, no spoilers, no spoilers. King Smoit gonna clean up the top lane turret. Renekton moves in, though, should be able to 1v1. Throws down the ultimate really early. King Smoit just wants out of this. Should be able to dash over the wall. Yep, and keep himself just fine. Able to get out alive for the moment as Team Average, kind of licking their wounds from the last team fight. We're in a winning position for most of the game, but gave over a really bad fight due to many on this Ezreal stepping a little too far forward, and Riven's Exile landing a really good hook. Now King Smoit, though, the one in trouble, has the double buff, so I don't think he's going to be able to do that much. Uses the wind wall, but it's not stopping everything, as he's still going to be dropped pretty darn low. Can't get over the wall, though, will be cleaned up. No flash for him, has ignite, but didn't do enough damage to try to execute anyone, and so will be sent back to the fountain with the gray screen of waiting. I played 3D, so there's room to think. What's the rule on repeat players? Prefer should be named, not confused with. To many, no rule on repeat players other than that I ask you if you have played in 1 or 2 or 3 games. Let some other people play. We do favor new players or people who haven't been able to play yet tonight. If we only had the same 10 players play in all 3 games, it would get just a little bit boring. So mostly, though, that is up to you and the player bases. How many players we have, how many people wanting. Team Average moves in, looking for the finish. The snare onto the Cho'Gath. He uses the Gargoyle Stoneplate to keep himself alive at the moment, still going to almost fall, but not quite. Ezreal getting the damage down. Thresh, the only one left alive, trying to harass him out. 2 members of 100% Cookie left alive after the Yasuo falls, and Bacon King, the only one now, to try to defend everyone, charming him underneath it. But the fountain has already, not a fountain, the Nexus has already fallen. Average takes the win in game number 3 as 100% Cookie will fall, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. It does happen. Do not worry. Sometimes the games happen, man. Sometimes the games just happen that way. Honorable mention on the losing side, giving that over. The losing side was blue side, and I think I'm going to give honorable mention to the Bacon King 1122, despite having a really bad lane in the top lane against Dive, who also was able to get an early gank from Semanis to really be pushing that lane in. Only died 4 times, played a fairly solid game, able to guarantee a few kills in the mid game to late game with how far the game went. Onto the Timani on the squishy Ezreal, using that face to pretty strong effect. Bacon King 1122. As the MVP is going to go over to King Smoit. For despite dying a bunch of times, basically tried to hold mid and bottom lane, sometimes solo, as the enemy team were able to just continue to push in. It was actually the reason why he was trying to go bottom lane and fill the gap from No Free Names and Riven's Exile. The Ahri was able to get back into the game. She was shut down early, shut down hard. King Smoit had that, tried to share some of his power with the rest of his team, and didn't work out to the greatest effect, but still a MVP to him for the attempt. For the winning team, honorable mention. There's so many people. I mean, DRF Dive did just such a good job in the top lane. Basically, once he got a little bit ahead, soloing out at that point. But I think I'm giving it to Semanis for some really good pressure in the early game, getting that Renekton rolling, and then continuing to rotate around the map, showing up mid lane to help the Ahri to push when their bottom lane was starting to get chunked out by King Smoit. And really recognizing where the weaknesses and strengths of his team were, knowing he didn't have to go to the bottom lane because to many it was Crushing, who is going to be the MVP for the red side for playing ridiculous, immaculate Ezreal. So good. Died 6 times, but I mean, when you're face rolling the enemy team, 14 kills, 10 assists, I think you can survive giving over a handful of kills. Definitely a shout out, though, to Social Bun for playing the Leona very, very well. A couple of things probably could have done better, but overall, goods engages with those ultimates. And on the Ahri, not a Fox main, for recognizing when there was an opportunity just to farm that mid lane and play it slow, getting back into the game to then bring the damage with that Luden's Echo later on. So overall, good games, though. Oh my goodness. Guys. Jeez. I should have been sitting on this the whole time. Screen is black. Thank you, Zeno, the only one who actually mentioned that, pointed that out. I can't even see things. Whew. Didn't even notice, guys. Didn't even notice. But even still, good game. We're going to switch over really quick. I want to see the damage graphs, especially from that Ezreal. I got to switch over to Spectator 2 here. 39,000, just shy of 40,000 gold, or 4,000 damage on this Ezreal. That's disgusting. That's just disgusting. Imagination moment. Just imagine the stats in your head. Imagine it. Thank you, Deadless, for that beautiful imagery. Gonna switch back. Oh, wait, you didn't even... Fade it out. There we go. Didn't want to see myself 4-9 anyway. This is true. This is true. Sometimes you just want to put the game behind you, let it go, and end it then and there. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out and playing tonight. It is, as usual, Tuesday nights that we do this, every Tuesday night. And there will not be another game after this one. I'm honestly pretty burnt out, and I still have a long week of work ahead of me. But I thank you guys for coming out. That damage. Porker, I'm glad that you were able to get into a game. Not a Fox main. There's so many of you guys that were new players tonight. If you guys do follow, you can be sure and be notified when the games go live next Tuesday so that you can get in. Again, the earlier you are, the more games that you can play in. And eventually, if we can get Thursday night games rolling as well, there will be more games for you to play in on top of all of it. So thank you guys for coming out, and appreciate it. We're going to have a fancy roll credits, and you guys have yourself an awesome night, and keep in touch. See you guys on the Discord. We're not going to end just yet, because
my soldiers march on.
Thank you, Poker 5000 for the follow, and Semanis for the follow as well. Both of you guys. We're gonna re-roll those credits. I have got to upgrade.
You need not follow, but you must witness.
All right, we're gonna fix that real quick on the roll credits, guys, because that was way too small. So hang on. We're going to redo roll credits real quick. Credits. Font size 20. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. All right, let's try it this time. Let's see how it goes this time. Oh, I didn't save it. All right. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna do this again. All right, font size. Let's actually.
My soldiers march on.
Hey, Not Foxman, thank you for the follow as well. You guys have been fantastic. I'm really trying to fix this this roll credits, guys, because you deserve being able to actually see how awesome you are. Roll speed 1. Let's try this again. Hey, oh, that is so much better. That's still a little on the small side, but that's all right. What do you guys think? Maybe bump it up to 50. Well-timed march on. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. All right, thank you guys. You guys have been fan-freaking-tastic. And we will see you all next Tuesday, if not earlier. Have a good night and peace out. See you on Discord.